Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another mock draft video. Before I start, I'd like to ask you guys to please go down below, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you get notified for all of my videos. I make daily videos, daily content, mock drafts, and now, starting July, there's going to be a lot more content, rankings, sleepers, guys to avoid, stuff like that. You can also click the subscribe button that's over here on the screen. So, we're doing a 10-team PPR mock draft on Sleeper app. Just Google Sleeper app and you'll find it. It's a 10-team PPR, like I said, and the roster spots are quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, flex, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. And we are going to be drafting from the 5th position. Boom and boom. Let's start the draft. Okay, so the first pick is Saquon Barkley, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, and now it is us at the 5 pick. So what you're going to notice is in every draft is these same 4 guys going right at the beginning in some sort of an order that could be different every single time. Pretty much every single time those 4 guys are going to go first, followed by usually David Johnson and Melvin Gordon and then a bunch of receivers, or David Johnson, then a bunch of receivers, then Melvin Gordon, stuff like that. So David Johnson is my 5th ranked running back for the season, so we're definitely going to be going David Johnson in PPR. He's a great pick here. After we go David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Melvin Gordon, Devontae Adams, Le'Veon Bell, Joe Mixon, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, Odell Beckham Jr., and James Conner come off the board. So now it's our pick, and we are going to be going running back because, as I always advise, to go 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds. And I think since we're playing in a 10-team league that we want to target a tight end early because you get that positional advantage by drafting a tight end earlier, because in 14-team leagues or 12-team leagues, everyone's team is going to, some people's teams might be slightly worse than others, and having that tight end advantage doesn't really matter as much, whereas here where every team is going to be stacked, but if you have Travis Kelce, Kittle, or Ertz, you're going to be having a solid advantage at the tight end position above those guys, while also having solid running backs and receivers. So we're going running back here, and it's between Damian Williams or Nick Chubb. Dalvin Cook's too much of an injury risk, and I think that you need to go safe in the first 4 rounds, 5 rounds. You need to pick as safely as possible, and having guys that can get injured and have previous injury. Anyone can get injured, but have prior injuries, you don't want to do that. Todd Gurley has arthritis of the knee, so you don't want to do that. Like I said, don't pick people who have injuries or are injured at the moment. So it's between Damian Williams and Nick Chubb. And this is something I always see when I'm picking or anywhere in the second round. I always look for Damian Williams or Nick Chubb after guys like Joe Mixon go. So I think we're going to go Damian Williams here. Damian Williams, I like slightly more than Chubb because with Chubb, there's the potential of Kareem Hunt somehow taking his job, which I don't really see happening, but it's still possible. So we're going to go Damian Williams here. I don't think that Carlos Hyde can even touch his job, so we're going Damian Williams. After Damian Williams, Dalvin Cook, Travis Kelce, Todd Gurley, Antonio Brown, T.Y. Hilton, Nick Chubb, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans all come off the board. So at the tight end position, we still have all the tight ends left, but all the other 2 tight ends at the top 3, which are Ertz and Kittle, who I advise to get one of the 3. I think we can wait one more round and hope that Kittle or Ertz falls to us. So we're gonna hope that happens, and if it doesn't, we're gonna go middling tight end, which is like Evan Ingram or Hunter Henry. But like I said, in this kind of league, I definitely wouldn't wait. I would be less likely in a 10-team league to wait all the way to the end to get one of those okay tight ends, because I do think you need at least either a great or a good tight end in order to win. So we're gonna be going receiver here or running back. I think we're gonna go receiver here because I do like Aaron Jones, Mac, carry on. I think it's fine to wait because we may be able to get some good running backs later, and I want to get a solid wide receiver here. So we're gonna go Keenan Allen. I like him more than Amari Cooper because Amari Cooper does poop the bed all the time and kind of screw you over by not showing up certain weeks, whereas I feel like Keenan Allen always shows up pretty much week in and week out. And that's what I want for my wide receiver 1, so we're going Keenan Allen. He's a guy who could finish top 5 easily if he somehow stays healthy. Keenan Allen. After I pick Keenan Allen, Leonard Fournette goes, Amari Cooper, Devontae Freeman, Marlon Mack, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, Zach Ertz, Kerryon Johnson. So now it's our pick. And before I pick, I want to point out how all three of the big tight ends are going to go before the fourth round. Like I always say, Kittle, Ertz, and Kelsey always go in the first 4 rounds. All three of them. And Mahomes went in the fourth round, which is pretty typical of where you're going to be seeing him go in mock drafts. But in your real at-home draft, he may go even sooner because people see Mahomes, they see his 50 touchdowns from last year, and they're like, oh, he's on the cover of Madden. Let me pick him in the first round. So that may even happen in your league. So just remember that stuff like that can happen. So it's my pick. So we're going Kittle here because we want to get that positional advantage. After having two solid running backs, a solid receiver, could be a wide receiver one. So we are going to go George Kittle here. And I just realized now, with David Johnson, Damian Williams, and Keenan Allen, we're going to get absolutely destroyed by week 12 because I didn't look at the buys, and they all have bye week 12. Unless you draft good depth on the bench, which is still possible, and is what we're going to do. So after Kittle, David Montgomery goes, which is pretty early for Montgomery, I would think, because I'd pick guys like Kenyon Drake, Chris Carson over Montgomery. Montgomery usually goes in like the 5th or the 6th round, so the end of the 4th is kind of a reach here, but what do I know? David Montgomery, AJ Green, Julian Edelman, Kenny Galladay, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Phillip Lindsay, Brandon Cooks. Those are all pretty normal for what you're going to be seeing here. And now it's our pick. And I think we can go receiver here and then come back and hopefully get Chris Carson. The receiver here, we're probably going to be going Robert Woods here. Robert Woods, Ridley, or Lockett would be who I normally look at as my receiver 2 or my receiver 1. In some drafts I go 3 running backs at the beginning, so they would be my receiver 1. But in this situation, they would be my wide receiver 2 because I have 2 running backs, a tight end, and a receiver. So we're going to be going with Robert Woods here. Robert Woods is in my top 15 receivers, and I like him a lot. I like him more than Kupp, and I like him more than his teammate, Cooks. And Kupp's also his teammate. I would avoid Kupp due to his injury from last season, and like I said, I like being not drafting guys who are injury prone. He is injury prone because he got hurt last year, and I don't want to have someone who's still recovering from an injury on my team, and Woods does not have that, so I'm going to go Woods. I did not mean to watch list him. I meant to draft him. After Woods, Aaron Jones goes, followed by Kenyon Drake, Calvin Ridley, Sony Michel, Andrew Luck, Mark Ingram, Cooper Kupp, O.J. Howard, Sammy Watkins, Tyler Lockett, and now it is our pick. I want to point out how 3 quarterbacks I've went: Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck. Pretty much the quarterbacks that are going to go off the board at the beginning of the draft are going to be guys like Patrick Mahomes, Rodgers, Luck, and then where is he? Deshaun Watson and like Matt Ryan are going to be going probably in the first 6 rounds. But in your at-home league, you may be seeing everyone draft a quarterback except for you because you're smart and you wait. Unless the value is there until in the 7th round, everyone's gonna have a quarterback. So it's our pick here, and the guy I liked a lot, Lockett, is not here. So we're not going running back or receiver. We're gonna go running back here because Chris Carson is here. Chris Carson and Rashad Penny are both good picks. I like both of them. I talk about them in every single video because I want to pick either of those guys on my team, one or the other, on every single team because I think that they're gonna probably split 50-50 or 60-40 in Carson's. Like Carson being the head. But I can also see possible where Chris Carson loses the job to Penny, but it's still like 60-40 or 50-50. So I think they're both pretty good picks here, and we're going to go Chris Carson. Boom. After Chris Carson, Chris Godwin goes, followed by Jarvis Landry, Tariq Cohen, Deshaun Watson. Oh, shit. James White, Mike Williams, Baker Mayfield, DJ Moore. And now it's our pick. And right here, I like Tyler Boyd, but we're going to see if there's any running backs here. I think we can wait and get like Latavius Murray or Lamar Miller coming back in the next round. We already have our tight end. Otherwise, we would be going Hunter Henry or Evan Ingram here. And you don't need a backup tight end when you draft someone like Kittle. You just pick one off the waiver wire week 4 when Kittle's off. So now we're going to go either receiver or running back. And like I said, I don't want Geis. I don't want Coleman. Henderson I'd be okay with. Penny I'd be okay with. Well, actually, I'm not okay with Penny because I already have Carson, and I don't think you need to really handcuff them because they're both going to be playing. So hopefully we get Latavius Murray or Lamar Miller like I said in the next round. So we're just going to go with Tyler Boyd. He's probably the best receiver available right now. I'd be fine with him or Robbie Anderson here or Dante Pettis. But I think we'd be able to get Pettis in the next round, so it wouldn't even be worth it. So we're going to go Boyd here. Boyd, I think, is going to end up probably being the one for at least half of the season because I think AJ Green's going to end up getting hurt. He always ends up getting hurt. So even though the Bengals are not a great offense, I think maybe the offense will be slightly better under someone that's not Marvin Jones. So where do we go? Or Marvin Lewis, not Marvin Jones, the Detroit receiver. We're going to go with Tyler Boyd here. After Tyler Boyd goes Tevin Coleman, Matt Ryan, Darius Geis, Darrell Henderson, Hunter Henry, Robbie Anderson, Evan Ingram, Alshon Jeffrey, Will Fuller, Dante Pettis. So we just got absolutely fucked right there. Darrell Henderson went, and so did Pettis, the two guys I wanted. Tevin Coleman, I would not suggest drafting him this early. I don't want anyone from San Francisco backfield besides Breida, but Breida's pretty much free at the end of the draft. And I don't want anyone from Washington. They're in a running back by committee. There's like 8 million guys there. AP, Geis, Chris Thompson, and I believe they also have someone else, so I don't want any of that. Especially with Geis coming back off of an ACL injury. So it's our pick. And right here, we're just going to go, even though I could go Kirk here, I want to get Lamar Miller because he's the one on the team, and even though he's not sexy, he's not a sexy pick, he's not going to score 30 fantasy points, but he is solid floor. He's always going to be scoring like 10 points for you. And honestly, in the 8th round, that's pretty fucking good, considering you're never going to need to play him except for when any of your running backs are on bye. So we're going to go Lamar Miller here. Hopefully we can get Latavius on the back, but I doubt it. After we went Lamar, Drew Brees went, followed by Rashad Penny, Eric Ebron, Latavius Murray, Christian Kirk, Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, Allen Robinson. So, now at this point, the red is quarterback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 teams have a quarterback, and I don't have one. And I always tend to wait on quarterbacks. Just wanted to point that out. I also want to point out how Latavius Murray got absolutely fucking snatched from me. I would not be picking Eric Ebron this high. I don't like Eric Ebron that much. I think Jack Doyle's going to steal some of his targets. And I just don't really like Ebron because he had such a good year last year. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen again. Alrighty, so it's our pick, and I don't really want to kill Harry. I think we can wait and get some solid receivers later. So it's pretty obvious here to just go Ronald Jones here. Ronald Jones could be the number one on Tampa Bay, or it's either going to be him or Peyton Barber. And I like the upside of this in the 9th round when I already have 4 solid running backs. So I'm going to go Ronald Jones. And I always advise to pick more running backs than receivers because it's more likely that you can just go on the waiver wire and pick up a solid receiver at any time that you can start in your flex or even as your receiver too. But it's highly unlikely that you're going to go on the waiver wire and find really any value at running back. So unless someone gets injured, then you're not going to be finding someone who you can just pick up and could end up as a running back one at certain weeks. Like Ronald Jones could end up being a running back one certain weeks if he gets the job. So we went Ronald Jones. After Ronald Jones goes Jared Cook, Jordan Howard, Sterling Shepard, Russell Wilson, Kareem Hunt, N'Keal Harry, LaShawn McCoy, Chicago defense, Golden Tate, Royce Freeman, and then it's our pick. So let me point out here, the only picks I don't really like, I don't like picking Kareem Hunt unless you have what's his name? Unless you have Chubb. That guy didn't have Chubb, and he picked Kareem's defense. Kareem Hunt. I don't think you even want Kareem Hunt because I don't think he's really going to do anything this year. Like, yeah, he might come in like week 9 or 10 and get some touches, but if Chubb plays how he played last year, he's going to light it up. There's going to be no reason to have someone who hasn't practiced all year, couldn't be with the team all year, up to week 9, comes in and takes like half the touches. I just don't see that as being possible. Unless Chubb gets hurt, then Hunt would be a running back one, just like he was when he was on the Chiefs last year before he did what he did, you know? And now, also I want to point out LaShawn McCoy, he's a waste of a pick. He might get cut. I don't know who's going to end up being the one on that team, but I don't think you really want any of them. If you want any running back from Buffalo, it's Singletary, who's pretty much free. He's a rookie, and you can get him in like the last round. So Something else I want to point out here: Chicago defense was picked. Do not pick a defense until the last round. I guess the Bears are the only defense I would be reaching on, but a reach I would wait. I would maybe draft them in like the 12th, but not in the certainly not in the 10th. But I guess it's okay if you reach on them. But if you're drafting like the Rams or anything, you're a goddamn idiot. You can't be drafting a defense until the last round, pretty much. So now it's our pick, and we have one, two, three, four, five running backs and three receivers, and we want to get a quarterback too. So we're gonna go quarterback here because every team except for me, I think one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Every team except for me is quarterback, and I want to get a solid quarterback and not have to let someone steal Kyler from me. I like Kyler a lot, so we're gonna go Kyler here. Kyler's on a pretty not a good offense, but an offense that's gonna run a lot of plays. And a rushing quarterback is pretty much cheat codes in fantasy. The guy that can scramble and wait for someone to get open is going to be pretty good. And Cam Newton is still hurt, so that's why I wouldn't be picking him here. I'd rather get Kyler, but I wouldn't hate on Cam Newton here either because I think he will recover from his injury. So we're going to go Kyler Murray here. After Kyler Murray goes Geronimo Allison, Larry Fitzgerald, Jerick McKinnon, Vance McDonald, David Njoku, Marvin Jones, Cam Newton, Austin Eckler. So now it's our pick. And we need another. We need some running backs and receivers here. I think we can just. I think we're probably. If we don't pick Jalen Samuels here, he's not going to fall back to us. We can still wait on guys like Kiki Cootie or MVS on the next round. So we're going to go Jalen Samuels here. He's the backup for Connor. He's going to be getting some touches this year. He's going to be. He might play tight end when Vance isn't on the field, and he's also going to probably be a receiver too. So he's a solid option in PPR leagues. Not as interesting of a pick in standard, but still someone. If you have Connor, you should probably target him. So we're going to go Jalen. I have to go Jalen, Corey Davis, McCole Hardman, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Kiki Cootie, Jared Goff, LA Rams, Austin Hooper, Donta Foreman, Carlos Hyde, and that was our pick. I would not draft Carlos Hyde because I don't think that Damian Williams is even gonna struggle doing good, and I don't think Carlos Hyde's that good of a back. Unless Damian Williams gets hurt, Carlos Hyde's barely gonna see the field. I also want to talk about Corey Davis, who I highlighted over before. Corey Davis, he might be getting a shit ton of targets. He's just not good. He did not prove himself well last year, and I just don't. I just avoid him completely. I don't like the Titans' offense really at all. Hardman is also a guy that I don't really draft him ever, but I can see why people like him because they believe he's the Tyreek Hill replacement for the team. So, but if Tyreek comes back, obviously, then that pick is going to be kind of useless. Even though I guess having any receiver in a Patrick Mahomes-led offense would be pretty good. So Kiki got sniped from us. So we're gonna want to go MVS here. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He could be the 2 on Green Bay, and by 2 I mean the second receiver on the team behind Devontae Adams. It's either gonna be him or Geronimo Allison, and I just like the upside in the 12th round of picking someone who could be the number 2 with such a high-powered offense with such a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So I'm gonna go MVS here. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's gonna probably shoot up the draft boards once people start hearing about him more. After I picked Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jacksonville defense, Ito Smith, D.D. Westbrook, Chargers defense, James Winston, Ben Roethlisberger, Deshaun Jackson, Adrian Peterson. So now this is our last bench spot pick here before we go kicker and defense, and you don't need a backup quarterback. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs and 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. So we can either go 7 running backs, which is usually what I do in 4 receivers because I think that we have pretty good receivers already. And getting a solid, and you can maybe get a solid running back here. So we're going to go Peyton Barber to just lock up the whole Tampa Bay backfield if Ronald Jones is to go down. Or if whoever gets the job, we're going to have that guy pretty much. So if Peyton Barber wins the job, we got Peyton Barber. If Ronald Jones wins the job, we got Ronald Jones. If one of them goes down, we got the other one. This is a strategy that I don't think a lot of people use because it is, in a sense, it's kind of stupid. But at the same time, you're getting a whole backfield for 2 picks when you know that one of these guys could be like a top. He could be an RB2 every single week. So it seems worth it in my opinion. So where to go? Peyton Barber. After Peyton Barber, Tom Brady, Devin Singletary, Philip Rivers, DJ Hawkinson, Curtis Samuels, Baltimore defense. All right, now I'm gonna just say regular picks. Like if anyone picks a actual player on the offense. So now it's our pick, and we're going to be going defense. Now, let me explain to you how you pick a defense. So you go on Google, you go on the Googles, and you start typing. You just type in NFL schedule, pocket sized, or NFL schedule, and you look at the week 1 schedule, and you figure out who's playing a shitty offense, which defense is playing a shitty offense, and you pick that team. And then at the next week, you know what you do? You look up the schedule again, and then that's how you do it every single week. You pick a defense against a shitty offense. And I'll be making videos about it, so click subscribe so you can get those during the regular season so that you always know who to play at defense. So now it's our pick, so we're just going to go Vikings because they're the highest ranked team. And that has nothing to do with who we would actually pick. Gronk comes off the board, and so does Emmanuel Sanders. Gronk is a guy that you can't be drafting because guess what? He's not on the Patriots anymore. He's not even on a team anymore. So you don't want to draft a guy who's not in the league. And that's our pick again at kicker, so we're going to go Gostowski. Actually, we clicked Bucker on accident. It doesn't matter because he's a kicker. And then Damian Harris, James Washington goes. I would not be picking James Washington. I'd rather have Dante Moncrief because I think Dante Moncrief is going to be the receiver 2 on the team, not James Washington. So now we're going to recap our team real quick. We got Kyler Murray, David Johnson, Damian Williams, Keenan Allen, Robert Woods, Kittle, Carson, and then our kicker and defense. That's our starting lineup. And on our bench, we got Boyd, Miller, Ronald Jones, Jalen Samuels, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, and Peyton Barber. So thank you guys a lot for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you click the subscribe button. I hope you click like and leave a comment about anything in the video that you may have changed. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a great Saturday. Goodbye.